Hi there, Loy Machedo, speaking to you from loymachedo.com. Who's Loy Machedo? Think Personal Branding. All right, guess what? COVID is back in the headlines, and that it has been happening since past couple of days. I've been keeping an eye on this, and now I think it has started to pick up pace. Now, I know immediately there will be two sides to this. One will be the people who will deny this and say this is bullshit, this is fake news, this is manufactured in a lab, this is what pharmaceutical companies are putting the pressure. Countries are trying to control you, mandatory passports and inserting chips, and they are putting foreign bodies into your stuff and all that. Okay, one side. The other side is saying, no, we need to trust the science, we need to trust the process. And then obviously, somewhere in between is, political lies. Fauci said that, oh, you will die if you don't take the vaccine. Politicians said, if you take the vaccine, you will live. And then they have been proved wrong. Okay, I know there's a lot of confusion. I know there are a lot of opinions. What I will do is, links to whatever I'm saying is put down in the description. You can check it and do your own research. I'll just give you an overview of what research I have done, because let's understand one thing: whether you agree or whether you disagree, you know, uh, governments, when they make their policies, it affects people. Okay, it does affect people. And and I know this, it has affected us where travel and tourism is concerned, jobs are concerned, loved ones are concerned. In fact, whether you believe me or you don't believe me, it doesn't matter. Um, there were people who didn't get sick at all, like my wife. We never got COVID. Okay, maybe because we're staying on the small island away from mainland. Then there were people who got affected, but very mildly. Then there are people who got affected, but very seriously. And I personally know my clients who got affected so badly that they thought they were going to die. And some of them, I'm still in touch with them, they are suffering the aftermath effects of getting COVID by breathing problems, health issues, weaknesses. They're still taking treatment. My family members got COVID, but they are okay. They just had some breathing difficulties and like flu. So they say it's like a flu-like symptoms. Okay. Then there is the extreme case where people have lost their loved ones, and in my group, I have people who have said, "I've lost my aunt, my mother, my father." So there are various cases. Okay, various people from various slots in the spectrum. All right. So it has affected people in terms of health. Now, if it has not affected you, whether sickness and all that, I'm sure business has been affected, travel has been affected, policies have been affected. It has been very stressful. So this whole episode of COVID that took place 3 years ago has affected people in some way or another. Okay. So what I thought is, let me just go through what has been happening now. What is happening now? What are the updates? And I'll share some with you. You can comment and let me know your thoughts down below. Now, one thing is, the reason why we are not hearing much about this is because right now FIFA and football is very popular. Okay, so everyone's talking about FIFA, and obviously media channels will speak about what is viral content. Okay, so now that FIFA is over, if there is nothing else, they will start the COVID news left, right, and center. Before that, it was Russia and Ukraine. Okay, they were speaking about that, and every day you'd get something of Putin and Zelensky and the end of the world, and nuclear this and that. And now after football came, nobody was bothered about Putin and Zelensky. People are fed up and tired of that guy's idiotic requests. He was even asking FIFA to allow him to give his message. Good, they refused him. And before Putin, it was nothing but just COVID in the news. 24/7 we had just COVID, 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 COVID policies here, COVID testing there. When Putin came, finish. When that war started, no more news about COVID. And the coincidence was, before the Russia Ukraine war, US had withdrawn all its troops from Afghanistan, which was a shock. And then, the Russian, this NATO problem started. So US knew beforehand what is happening. It's a game of politics. Anyway, we don't want to get into that. So now, when we get into COVID, once again, the question is, where did it come from? Nobody has an answer. Did it come from a lab? Did they manufacture secret weapon? US and Obama, they were working with China to test these viruses in Wuhan lab. Did it come from that Wuhan wet market? Did it come from a creature? Did it come from eating a bat? Did it come from animal to human? Was it a weapon of mass destruction? Was it, manufactured by pharmaceutical companies so that they could make profits? Was it done by uh, what is the new world order? There are key people controlling governments and everyone's a puppet. Was it the West to control us? Was it to insert microchips? And, when you insert this, they're inserting a secret chip. Yeah, so many stories were there. Okay. And then obviously they were like, no, once you take the vaccine, they can detect where you are. They will give you a digital passport. It has to be mandatory. And then there were people who were saying it's mandatory. People who were saying, no, I'm not. It's my body, my wish, whatever. Okay, fine. Then we had the vaccines. What were the vaccines? We had Oxford, AstraZeneca. We had Pfizer, BioNTech. We have Novavax. Yeah. Then we have Moderna, then Johnson and Johnson. And then far in between, you had China only vaccine, India only vaccine, and some other countries they had only vaccine, and some other countries they were like, oh, they accepted bribes, so they will only sell this vaccine and that vaccine. Here in Thailand, here's the funny thing was, I think my wife was given a Thai vaccine, whatever that was. But for me, when I went to take the vaccine, we went the same day, and my videos are there. You can see the videos. They gave my wife, I can't remember what, but when it came to me, we are come together. They said, for you, it'll be Pfizer. But for my wife, it'll be something else. So she was very upset about that. And then, yes, slight fever. I did feel, people were very upset when I decided to take the vaccine because all the while I said, they looked at me as a hero who stood against the vaccine and the New World Order. Why I took the vaccine is because if I had to travel, if I had to go to the bank, if I had to get anything, they would require, we have this app that was downloadable. We had to show that. So I was like, hell with this, man. Just give the vaccine, finish it off. Nothing happened to me. I just got slight fever slight feverish for one day, 24 hours, me and my wife. They're perfectly okay. Then you had what? Vaccine one, then you have to take another. First they said only one vaccine. Then they said, no, you have to take the upgraded vaccine to protect you. It's like a piggyback. Then the third vaccine came and they said, you need to take those three. Then the booster shot came and all that. So too much of drama, too much of this thing. Now you have 3 vaccines plus 1 booster or 2 boosters or 3 boosters. Okay, whatever. And then you also had the kinds of what do you call that? COVID, kind of COVID and variants. If I just took down, there were like, how many variants? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11, but I'll give you the main ones. What started in December 2020, okay, we had the alpha B1.1.7 alpha. Then we had the beta B.1.351 alpha, beta, then gamma B.1, then delta B1.16172, then Omicron. Okay, and finally it has come to Omicron. Now we have the new variant of Omicron. Okay, so, WHO said we'll give Greek alphabets. Okay, they said Greek alphabet, so it's easier. So we had alpha, beta, gamma, delta, and Omicron. The most, when it started off with alpha, the level of spreading, the levels, level 1, level 2, level 3, they have different levels. So maybe level 1 is quite harmless. So it was at level 3. By the time it came to Omicron, which spread in India, North, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, it was at level 11. This new variant, which is spreading right now in China, is called the BF.7. It seems to be at level 16. So at level 3, level 11, level 16. And we saw how horrible how horribly countries were putting controls into place. Like, for example, China had zero COVID policy. India, all of a sudden, Modi just said, okay, we're going to lock down wherever you are, we're going to lock it down. You have 1 week. And then people had to walk for 5 days or 10 days, and people are dying on the streets. And then they were spraying them with chemicals as if they were cattle. And then the nonsense about drink cow urine, you'll be okay. Put cow dung all over your body, you'll be okay. They even had nonsense like stand in the balcony and keep beating the dishes and you'll be okay. And then they try to politicize it by, having this. Whenever you'd get a certificate, you'd get the photograph of Narendra Modi on top of that. And it became a mess. It became a mess. Then Donald Trump lost his election because of the way he handled COVID. Biden gained popularity because of the way he promoted COVID. So everyone was trying to capitalize on the COVID nonsense. And then you had all these, like Patanjali or something, uh, Guru Ramdev or something in India. They were selling products which said, this will bring down your COVID. Take this supplement, take this. And yes, thankfully, they were brought to task. Okay. So now we have seen all this circus. We have had zero COVID policies, countries locking down. We have had travel bans, which was the biggest shocker of all. Imagine all the airlines were grounded. We had mandatory vaccine. We have digital passports, which were proposed. In fact, here in Thailand, you couldn't even visit a government office. They would not allow you if you didn't have this thing. You couldn't get services. They even announced you'll not get banking services or you'll not get these. That is one of the reasons why I took. And in the West, you can't meet your relatives. If your relatives are dying, you can't even hug them. Many of them died that way. You know how Boris, he was making other people be locked in the house, but he was having his parties. I know in so many countries in Europe where they were not allowed to go out. And how would they earn money? That was a very big question. US started to get free money. People started to enjoy that. This new proposal will work from home. And the silly ads and LinkedIn silly posts, people are showing that they're typing on the laptop while walking on the treadmill. And one lady was showing, see, this is how I work. Yeah, which is stupid. Okay. So, yeah, and online, the censorship. You couldn't talk about it. People, just imagine, YouTubers were not even, they were scared to say COVID. They were saying the C. And they were not allowed to say the word vaccine. They were saying the V. I mean, it was so stupid. It is like if you say the word Negro, it was offensive. So they said the N word, the C word. And now, there was a particular virus, there was a particular, V. It was so silly, man. Then you couldn't talk about it. There was shadow banning. If you talk about it, your videos would not get shown. Social media ban, you would be blocked from posting anything 7 days. Then there would be fact check. Then there were arrests by government if you would spread information that was detrimental or you disagree with the government. There were protests. Then conspiracy theories were rising left, right, and center. There were figures of death, but then they're saying these were fake. There were hospital people sickness. They were saying there. I even received videos and photographs of people who are in these temporary hospitals, and they were not allowed to share this information. Some said this is just a flu. Some said it is harmless. Some said so. We went through so much of nonsense. Okay, and finally, let's understand the impact. Airlines were impacted, hotels were impacted, businesses were impacted, jobs were impacted, computer parts you couldn't get, raw materials you couldn't get, prices of stuff just went up. Even simple, stupid things like which are not required, masks, hand sanitizers, coveralls, and then we had the rise of online businesses. Everyone said that is the future. Okay. I've taken you through a circus of everything that has happened. Now, the question is, what are they going to do next? Are they going to bring back this lockdown? Are they going to say, no, we have to lock things down? Are they going to say, no, you must be vaccinated? I'll be honest with you. I seriously do not know how far Each country is going to take the rules. But I do know one thing, they will implement certain rules depending on which country you are. Now, in China, they try to bring a lockdown policy, but people went berserk, they went mad. They say, we don't care, we will die with the virus, but we don't want lockdown. Now, they protested, they broke things down, and Xi Jinping said, okay, fine, I don't want another Tiananmen Square nonsense. You want to die with the virus? Fine. He relaxed the rules. Now people are getting sick, and now people themselves are taking the precautions. Okay. Here in Thailand, we didn't have any such protests, but the lockdown did affect a lot of tourism, sex tourism, hotels, airlines. It affected a lot of people. Okay. In India, I'm pretty sure lots of people lost their jobs. A lot of people were locked in. It was terrible, especially for the middle class and the poor. They had a tough time. Middle East, oh, lots of people lost their jobs. Lots of people had to pay loans and all that. They didn't know what to do. They couldn't leave the country. They couldn't get in. And now things are managed properly. And Dubai was one of the first countries that said, we are opening up, we will manage. And that became the role model for all other countries to follow. And many investors, many people with lots of money said, I'm coming to Dubai. I have the sunshine, I have the freedom. I don't have to be locked up in the house. And that is why cryptocurrency investors, rich people, so many came to the Middle East. Okay, especially Dubai. They said, I don't have to be locked up in the house. I can go clubbing. I can go anywhere out. I can shop. I can do all this. Yes, a few testing is there, a little bit testing here and there, a little bit of inconvenience. If I go to Abu Dhabi, there's a testing there. Come to Dubai, there's a testing there. But I can manage better than being locked up in the house in a cold place like Europe. Okay. So every country will have its own policies. I just feel what they will do now is they will maybe, okay, they will test people. Okay, they will test people in terms of, those machines which are just checking your temperature in malls and all that. If you have to go to certain areas, maybe they'll ask you for the app. Okay, if it spreads like crazy, those who are vaccinated will give preference. Masks will come into play, keeping the gloves and all that, protecting the family. People would prefer not going out that very much. Theaters, their businesses got destroyed and all that. So they would rather sit at home. It's more convenient. Will online businesses sprout up? Not to the level how they had capitalized before and made tons of money. And one last thing is, yes, it will affect people because recession is also coming up, which I've told you in my previous video. It will affect when you mix both these. Now, how far the news is controlled, how far fake news, real news, whatever, that I leave it up to you because that is an ongoing debate that is never going to end. Should you take the vaccine? Should you not take the vaccine? That also I leave it totally up to you. As far as I'm concerned, I'm sitting at home. My wife is sitting at home. We just travel in this very small little, 5 kilometer area where we do all our stuff. So for us, we don't have to worry about traveling, meeting other people and other people meeting us. We are a small island. And for convenience sake, for banking, government, we have already taken, I think, 2 shots. 2 shots, you have to take the third one, and I think it's done. So I wouldn't mind taking it because for me, who's going to control me? What are they going to control about me? What are they going to control about my wife? What great information are they going to get? Nothing. Well, for me, I don't give a damn. I'm doing my business. I'm making I'm earning my money. I'm pretty happy. I think it comes down to you, and I think it comes down to where you stay, and I think it comes down to your livelihood. How is it going to affect? But like I always tell people, prevention is better than cure. Just take care of yourself, not just about the vaccine, but about not just about your health, but about your money, your job, your savings. Just be careful. Please do not spend money unnecessarily. Don't take unwanted risk. Don't go to parties and go, especially when there is that tension of, it can spread. Someone from some country will come. It's like an STD. Why do you want to take a risk? If you can enjoy being with your family and spending quality time at home and enjoying a nice movie and having a nice meal, there's nothing like it, right? You don't have to die to go other places. But if you're one of those who has to travel, has to meet other people, just take precaution and be safe rather than be sorry. Because remember, even in Thailand, you had people who still traveled even though there was a COVID lockdown. And then after they landed here, they made them mandatory to get hospitalized. And then their bills ran up to 10,000, 15,000, even $20,000. Okay. It has happened in some cases, not many cases, but then that is a risk you have to take. So you let me know, are you concerned and worried about this COVID spread? Is this just something you don't give a damn? Or do you really feel it's going to impact you in some way or another? I would love to know your comments down below. Let me know, but I can assure you one thing, that whatever happens, end of the day, if it is in the news and people are talking and governments are paying attention, yes, they will take action and it will impact, if not the people at the top, people like you and me. This is all I have to say. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Good, bad, ugly. This is me signing off. You guys take care.